Must have it. Must have it. And so that's again why this petition is so important. So you may have seen last night that I talked about a petition about a petition to stop some of the stranger things happening with K through 12 mathematics and the California mathematics framework. And last night when I was recording this video and the previous video at the same time, there was about 750 signatories on that petition. And it was also drawn to my attention that the Wall Street Journal picked it up. Is something interesting. So I figured I'd give a little bit more free press to that petition because I think it's a good petition. I will point out this note from the Wall Street Journal. Squaring up to defend mathematics, America's top scientists warn about the political erosion of education standards. So, the last few years have seen a proliferation of open letters by academics in politics and the humanities in favor of progressive causes. The hard sciences are different, when mathematicians, physicists, and engineers speak up to defend the integrity of their fields, Americans should pay attention. The latest example is a new public statement from hundreds of the country's top quantitative scientists warning about the assault on math in schools. Quote, "We write to express our alarm over recent trends in K-12 mathematics education in the United States," the statement begins. The social justice wave of 2020 accelerated efforts to eliminate standardized testing and lower standards in math to give appearance that achievement gaps don't exist. The scientists delicately describe the politicized erosion of standards as well-intentioned approaches to reform mathematics education. And I will admit this is one point where I did disagree with the wording of the petition, that I do not necessarily believe that some of this is well-intentioned. I believe some of it is and some of it is not. I don't believe that it's all necessarily well-intentioned. They zero in on the California Department of Education's proposed new math framework, which encourages math teachers to take a, quote, justice-oriented perspective. The signatories say the course roadmap will reduce the quote, availability of advanced mathematical courses to middle schoolers and beginning high schoolers, and discourage students from taking calculus. This is supposed to advance equity, but in addition to damaging America's global competitiveness, the letter says, the decline of rigorous math in public schools, quote, may lead to a de facto privatization of top-tier instruction and, quote, harm students with fewer resources. The growing list of 471 signatories, which admittedly, actually, I as I was filming last night, it was 750 at least, and it may well be over 1,000 by the time this video is published. The growing list of 471 signatories includes 4 Nobel winners of the Fields Medal in Math, 2 winners of the Turing Award in Computing, a Nobel laureate in Physics, and another in Chemistry, 25 members of the National Academy of Sciences, and faculty at Stanford, Berkeley, Caltech, MIT, and every top U.S. university for hard science. No doubt many, if not most in this group, are politically left of center, but they warn against the elevation of, quote, trendy but shallow courses over foundational skills like algebra and calculus. Those disciplines are centuries old and sometimes more, the letter says, but, quote, arguably even more critical for today's grand challenges than in the Sputnik era. The debate over course content in history and social science has been the center of educational controversy as progressives aim to rewrite the country's civic contract. But the erosion of math and science education to accommodate identity politics is even more threatening to America's prosperity and survival in a competitive world. Credit to the mathematicians for recognizing this threat and squaring up in defense of their field. So, here's the thing about this, is it's not just the mathematicians, of course. It's got many, many scientists who are themselves either physical scientists, climate scientists like myself, or others who recognize what Roger Bacon said is very true. Hold on, let me find it real quick. I will be right back. Okay, so Opus Majus was one of Roger Bacon's pieces, and he said it very well here. And I used this in another video, a deconstructing calculus video, talking about the Mathematical Associations of America, deconstructing calculus, essentially, which was a very not necessarily well done way of teaching calculus. But anyway, But Roger Bacon said this at one point: mathematics is the gate and the key of the sciences. Neglect of mathematics works injury to all knowledge, since he who is ignorant of it cannot know the other sciences or things of this world. And what is worse, men who are thus ignorant are unable to perceive their own ignorance, and so do not seek a remedy. Roger Bacon, in history, is one of the pioneering figures that makes science what it is today. And he recognized it very, very keenly, very early on, that without math, you cannot do the measurements. You cannot get into modeling. You cannot do into the regression and all those kinds of other things. You need a very good understanding of basic math, and then going up into some of the more advanced math for STEM fields. You need that because it is fundamental and pivotally important to doing physical science. And so he recognized it very, very well, that you absolutely must have it. Must have it. Must have it. And so that's again why this petition is so important. And I encourage you to go fill out that petition here. It links back to this again. I will continue to link it because I think it's a good petition here. And I wonder if, let's just see. Let us refresh. Do we have more? Okay, 746. This is still where it was as of when I recorded this last night. What it will be in the morning, I have no idea. But we shall see there with that. But I wanted to bring this up because it's not just mathematicians, and it's certainly not just math that suffers when math is not taught properly and people don't know what math is. Does that mean you cannot teach some of the history surrounding figures in math? No, it does not mean that. You can teach that history too, but that should not preclude you from teaching the basics of math for students, because it is so critical to STEM fields here, and so critical to society. Think carefully on how many things we have in the United States that depend upon good science. Think of your planes, your trains, your automobiles, your bridges, your cars. Think of windmills, think of nuclear, think of pretty much everything at one point or another has some kind of connection with science and technology, including what you're watching this video on right now. So thinking about that, make sure you know what's going on and sign this petition if you're a STEM professional. I very much encourage you to do so, because without it, boy, do I worry for the future of science if students are not taught math well early on and given the opportunity to excel in math if they are so willing to do so, and so able to do so. Anyway, that's it for now. Just again on that petition, I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug it away. If you like this video, hit the like button on the way out the door, comment on the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good jazz. Don't forget, of course, locals. Come on over and join us on locals. I think there's going to be some special things going on within the next year for locals supporters and for community only. Things will only go on over there. And until next time, I'm Adrian. I hope you stay curious.